live once again. Good evening, folks. Mobile Geezer here with Friday Night Tech Talk as usual. Glad to have you aboard. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to leave a like. We do this every Friday evening. We're going over the tech stories from the last week. I pick a few stories that I find interesting or that I think are the big stories of the week. And of course, we all know what the big story of the week is this week. First one in here tonight, as usual, was Eleanor. So she said hello to everybody and wishes everybody a great weekend. And Renz wasn't here. I'm guessing he's probably on his way to work now. So glad to have him here as always. And I'll let you know if anybody else is coming in. Oh, and by the way, Mike and I have been going up and down about when he's going to broadcast on Joker Tech for Friday Night Tech Talk, but he will be joining me tonight at some point. So I know you all look forward to when Mike joins, and it makes the show so much better. So he will be joining me. So I'll be watching for when he pops in, and I will definitely bring him on and let him say hello to you guys and let him express his feelings about this week and or about this week's news. Every week, I put the show notes out on my website, which is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. Let me share the screen and show that to you. Okay, so if you just look at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, if you click on today's date, it'll pull up all the stories for this week. So while we have them up, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we'll be going to. I'm sure you can guess we're going to start with the Apple event, which was Wednesday. And first story, I'll be showing you everything that they announced. And yes, I did order my iPhone 14 Pro Max today. We're going to talk about that a little bit because I gather things aren't going as smoothly as Apple would have wanted. So that'll be the first story, everything that they announced. And I'm sure most of you have already heard the iPhone 14, the entire series, just in the US, they're going to be eSIM only, no nano SIM that you can pop in and out. So got a story on that by The Verge. The first story is going to be from iMore, by the way. And after that, we'll be talking about the A16 Bionic chip, which is in the iPhone 14 Pro models, but not the regular models. But they're still on iPhone 15. And Annette's in here. Glad to have you here, Annette. Already let everybody know Mike will be joining at some point, so I'll be watching for him to pop in. So that'll be our third story. That'll be on Tech Radar. Then we'll be talking a little bit about iOS 16, which is coming Monday. So I never joined the beta. So I'm pretty excited, like most people, a lot of people, about iOS 16. And that's on The Verge. Then we'll be talking about iPhone sales in Brazil. If they don't put a power brick in the box, Brazil is not letting them sell any iPhones. So we'll see what Apple does about that. I did see in the story that Apple has already given in some countries. They didn't specify which ones, but they have included power bricks in the box in some countries, and so has Samsung. You'll see about that. And then just finally, to get away from Apple, Google did announce when their fall event is coming, so we'll be going over that. So those are the stories we're going to go over tonight. So let's start with the big iPhone event. And after I picked this story, I realized I probably could have picked a better one, but you get the gist, and I'm sure most of you followed what was going on with the iPhone anyway. But before I start that, let me pull up another story that I've been holding. Let me stop screen for a minute. And here's another story I'm going to share. This was not on the show notes if you went to them, because just came out today. So I'm going to share. This was on Mac Daily News, but I'm sure a lot of people have this story. iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max pre-order delivery dates quickly slip into October. So let's go over a little bit, and then I'll show you what happened to me, or my experience anyway. Okay, very soon after Apple started accepting pre-orders, which was today, for all four iPhone 14 models at 5 a.m., 8 a.m. my time, on Friday, delivery estimates began to slip into October in its online store in the U.S. and select other countries. So, many customers who managed to work around issues with Apple's online store and place an order quickly are set for launch day delivery. Now, I got mine in by about 10 after 8, so 10 minutes after it started. So, but I'll show you what I got. iPhone 14, 14 Pro, and iPhone 14 Pro Max models will begin arriving to customers and launch in stores on Friday, September 16th, which is what we were promised. While the iPhone 14 Plus launches on Friday, October 7th, which we already knew. For customers who have yet to order, however, many iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max models are now estimated for delivery in the first half of October from Apple. Availability of the standard iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus models has held up better. Similar situation in Canada, where nearly every iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max configuration is estimated for October delivery as of writing. So that story just came out today. So I'm going to show you my email. Now, keep in mind, I got this email minutes after I ordered this morning, which was in about the first 10 minutes. So let me share my screen. Let me get let's see. Can I share the screen without showing? Yeah, I don't want to show my email address, so I'll just tell you about it. So I ordered about 10 minutes, by 10 minutes after my order was completed. So mine says delivered, it says shipment ships 2 to 3 weeks, delivers October 3rd to October 10th by standard delivery. So that was like I say, in the first 10 minutes. So I'm guessing a lot of us are going to get this message. If I had to guess right now, if you getting in early means you get it delivered earlier, I'm going to guess by next week, the week after, maybe I'll have mine. But this is showing October 3rd to October 10th by standard delivery. So just want to let everybody know things are not going smoothly as Apple would have hoped. So when mine shows up, it shows up. I'll be happy when I get it. Of course, sooner would be better than later, but I'll take it when I can get it. I'm not going to cancel my order and run out to Best Buy whenever they get there. So just wanted to let you guys know that. So now back to the regular show notes in the first story. So iPhone 14 event live, everything announced from iPhone 14 Pro to Apple Watch Ultra. Up to the 2nd, this was the day of the event, of course, coverage. So let's go into reader view, get rid of some of these ads. Okay. So it starts off, that's a wrap for the live blog, because this started with the live blog. Gerald Lynch, editor-in-chief. And this was the day of the announcement, Wednesday, 3:51, I guess West Coast time in the afternoon. He started with that dynamic island, though, which I am really looking forward to. In action, it actually looks great. Having a reactive zone on every screen for intuitively responding to out-of-app settings and features is a great idea. I agree. Like an ever-ready but hidden notifications drop down. The animations are really cool, and building in now playing audio features is a great touch too. But that name is, let's say, very Apple, yeah, because it's called the Dynamic Island. But basically, it's, let's see, get a picture here of it. In here, we're going to get all different notifications from your AirPods, from your notifications, from your streaming, and it changes dynamically. So it sounds like it's a pretty cool idea. Matter of fact, there's already a lot of videos out about it, and I gotta agree, very innovative and a great idea. So I'm thinking Samsung and Google are going to have to play catch up with this. People are already saying, okay, Google, okay, Samsung, where's yours? So great idea.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
And you hear Google talking back to me. Okay. The media scrum to touch the devices is on. So this was when they were at the event. Mika Sargent is surprised at how light the Apple Watch Ultra turns out to be despite its size. Yeah, everybody's talking about how big that watch is. So iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro, 4 models, 14, 14 Plus, 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max, which is what I ordered. 6.1 inch, 6.7 inches. Pill-shaped cutout replaces notch on Pro models called the Dynamic Island, which I still think is fantastic, featuring dynamic animations and functionality across iOS. 48 megapixel primary cameras on Pro models, A16 Bionic chip for Pro models, A15 for the non-Pro models. OLED panels across both devices, purple, blue, midnight, starlight, and red for iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. They got the better colors. While Pro also gets dark purple, gold, which is what I ordered, silver, and space black. The reason I ordered the gold, because I always put a case on it anyway, so it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. But I realized I hadn't ordered a gold one since the iPhone 6 Plus, which is 2014, so a long time ago. So I figured, let me get a different color, so I got the gold. So pricing starts at $799 for the iPhone 14, so they didn't raise the prices, which is good. Available for pre-order from September 9th, today, with iPhone 14 shipping on September 23rd, iPhone 14 Plus shipping October 7th. So that's what it was supposed to be. Now none of us know. Pricing starts at $999 for the 14 Pro, and of course it was $1099 for the Pro Max. AirPods Pro 2 second generation, which I won't be getting. You guys know I've been doing a lot of earbud stuff here. I've got my Galaxy 2, my Pixel Buds Pro, my Samsung Galaxy 2 Pro here. And I've got a new one that just came today that I haven't opened, but we'll be talking about that over the weekend. So I'll be getting to comparing all of these. It seems like I'm getting into a lot of bud stuff lately. So just wanted you to know that. AirPods Pro 2 second generation H2 chip, inward-facing mic for more natural-sounding calls, custom-built driver and amp for low distortion playback, and I could see myself getting these in a month or two. Deeper bass, somebody said the bass is awesome. Crisper highs, 2 times more active noise cancellation, that's what Apple is claiming, over the originals. Improve acoustic sail for passive noise isolation, adaptive transparency to minimize volume spikes of ambient noise, capacitive touch controls in ear stems, that's right. So they're supposed to fit your ears much, much better. Personalized spatial audio, that sounds impressive. MagSafe charging with support for Apple Watch charger. Speaker in case you lose it. Now there's a speaker in the case itself for you to find it. 6-hour battery and earbuds, 30 hours total with case. And that sounds pretty impressive. $249 available to order today. Shipping September 23rd. Okay. The Apple Watch Ultra, he says, the big guy. Ruggedized titanium build, larger digital crown, an extended side button for use with gloves, new left side action button. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, I guess that's this, I guess. Left side action button, where was I? Okay, 100 meter water resistance suitable for diving, IP6X dust resistance, 2000 nit peak brightness display with high contrast night mode. Compass with waypoint and route tracking. And remember, these are for people who do really rugged sports, mountain climbing, stuff like that. Dual speakers for better audio outside, plus a siren loudspeaker to aid search and rescue. Crash detection, which is, they demonstrated that very nicely. 3 microarray for comms in windy conditions, 36-hour battery life, and coming soon, 60-hour low power mode. That sounds pretty impressive, but it's not there yet. 3 new bands, Alpine Trail and Ocean for cold weather, trekking and driving respectively. 20, I'm so used to Fahrenheit. Celsius, minus 20 Celsius to 55 degree Celsius temperature support. 49 millimeter only, plus, so it's only one size, plus everything else Apple Watch already does. That's from $799, so that's $800. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people thought this was going to be $1,000, so it kind of pushes you towards, well, I guess that's okay then. Anyway, to me, I'm probably not going to be getting this, but I think for everything you're getting here, it's probably worth $800. Just my opinion. So I'm watching from whenever Mike pops in. Apple Watch SE, which is today I'm where I alternate. You guys know that. But today I'm wearing my Samsung watch, but yesterday I had on my Apple Watch. And I have the older version of the SE, which I'm going to keep. SE2 green conscious build, crash detection, 20% faster chipset, 30% larger display than Apple Watch Series 3, and that comes in 44 or 40 millimeter. That's $249. Pre-orders open today, shipping September 16th. So that's what that will look like. Apple Watch Series 8, always on edge-to-edge display, which I guess is up here. Crack, dust, and water resistant, temperature sensor, primarily for ovulation tracking. That's pretty cool for ladies. Sleep tracking, ECG, emergency SOS calling, and car crash detection. Customizable workouts, international roaming for cellular models, and 18-hour battery and 36 hours in new low power mode, 45 or 41 millimeter. And Don is in here. Hey, Don. So we've got California with Annette. We've got Don from Oklahoma. We've got Eleanor. And we've got Ren from the Philippines. So we're doing pretty good here. Okay, just going over the stuff that was announced at the Apple event. Okay, basically, that's the stuff that was announced at the Apple event. As I said, I ordered my iPhone 14 Pro Max. My email, like you didn't hear, Annette probably, and Don, I know you didn't hear. I got mine in the first 10 minutes that you were able to order, and my email still says October 3rd to 13th. And I showed a story saying that it didn't go as well as Apple had planned, and a lot of people are getting notifications that they're going into October, especially those of us who ordered the Pros, I gather. So we'll see. Mine, when it shows up, it shows up. I'm not canceling and running out to the store when they get there. And I'll be happy when they get it. But just interesting, I was in the first 10 minutes, and in that first 10 minutes, my email already had pushed it out to October. So I'm still guessing since I was in so early. Alan's in here from Jersey City, phone tech at work. What's up, brother? So I would guess that I'm probably going to get it next week, the week after, but maybe it will be October 3rd. I don't know. We'll see. But this is certainly not what Apple planned for, and a lot of people, I gather, are disappointed. There's a bunch of stories already out there about it. So, and Don says that's the best attitude to have. Yeah, because in the past, I've freaked out and I've canceled my order and I ran out and bought it. And I'll just wait. Yeah, if I can't have some kind of patience at 77 years old, it's about time I develop some. So I'll just wait, and I'll be happy when I get mine. But I am excited about that island with the pill and all the notifications they got in there. Just amazing to me. And I think it's probably going to force Samsung and Google into doing something with that notch, because what Apple has done is pretty spectacular, and nobody saw this coming because there were no leaks about that. So I just thought it was pretty cool. So Don and Annette and Alan, Mike will be coming on. He already told me that. I don't know when. Yeah, you're right. That is human nature, especially in America. We want things right now, but I've learned to be a little bit more patient. I think Jesus is teaching me a little more patience, which is a good thing. Okay, so as soon as Mike gets in there, I'll let you guys know. He has a new piece of a new device also, in case anybody hasn't seen, but he'll talk about that. So I'm going back to sharing screen, and we're going to the next story. A lot of people think this is a big deal. We'll find out, I guess. And iPhone 14 in the US, eSIM only. So this is going to be from The Verge. So for those of us that are in the US, all the iPhone 14s are going to be eSIM only. I have never used my eSIM in my phone, so we're going to see how that goes. Luckily, I do have 3 phone lines of my own, 2 of which I carry every day, 1 of which I kind of leave around. So that's the one I'm going to put my eSIM in, just in case. Now, I've already done a lot of research, and I gather I can have the eSIM in there active, but I can also have the physical old SIM in there and have both at once. Or I'm thinking I should be able to take the old physical SIM and put it in another phone. So when I turn off my iPhone with the eSIM not active, I should be able to have my physical SIM active in another phone, which is what I do these days. I change phones every day. So we'll see how that goes. But so this was on The Verge. The iPhone 14 won't have a SIM tray in the US. It's eSIM only from now on in the US. If you're on a major carrier, that's probably fine. By Nathan Edwards, and this was right after the event on Wednesday. So let's go into review. Okay, the new iPhone 14 lineup will ship without physical SIM trays, but only in the US. They'll be able to use 2 eSIMs at once, good, and store more than that. I think you can store 6. But is the lack of a physical tray a big deal? That's what we're going to find out. I'm thinking not, because I know Mike has some experience with it, so we'll ask him about it. And is it user hostile and stupid? Well, I don't think it's stupid. Some people are probably going to say it's user hostile. I don't think so. Apple likes to try to be ahead on something. So I think it's probably going to be okay. It's just something we have to get used to. First, a refresher on eSIMs. They're SIM cards, but electronic, not physical. That means your phone can be provisioned remotely. No more going to a store to get a physical SIM. Oh, and by the way, I ordered mine. I didn't attach to any carrier, so I've already looked up a bunch of videos on how to turn it on and looked on the Apple site. It sounds to me like I should be able to turn it on, no problem, on my own without contacting anybody. So we'll see. And Brian's in here. What's up, Brian? Wow, Brian, you are so kind, amazingly so. Thank you very much, brother. Don's in here. Let's see, who else is in here? Don's here. Annette's here. Renz, I think, is on his way to work. He already said hello. And, of course, Eleanor was first. So we've already gone over the stuff that was announced at the Apple event. I've already told them about mine. I had my order completed by about 10 after 8 my time, 10 after 5. So 10 minutes after orders opened up. And my email already said October 13th, which a lot of people are showing that they're going to get them later rather than sooner. We don't know. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess sooner than that. But I guess they're going to give us the outside that it could get there. So mine is saying like October 3rd to the 13th. When it shows up, it shows up. But Apple wasn't happy about that. But not a whole lot they can do about it, I guess. Okay, back to our eSIMs. That means your phone can be provisioned remotely, no more going to a store to get a physical SIM. This makes it easier in some ways to switch networks or try one out. T-Mobile now uses eSIMs to let people test drive its network for up to 3 months. I didn't know that, and I'm a T-Mobile guy. As of iOS 16, you can even transfer your eSIM between iPhones via Bluetooth, which I'll be doing, I hope, which should make it almost as easy as a physical SIM as long as you're staying in the Apple ecosystem, of course. So Monday, which we're going to have a story on that, but Monday, I should get iOS 16 on my iPhone 12 Pro, so I would think once I get the new one, I should be able to install the eSIM pretty easily. So we'll see. Most major U.S. carriers and many worldwide have eSIM support, and iPhones have supported them since 2018, including the ability to use 2 SIMs at once, which I will do at some point. Up until the iPhone 13, that meant 1 eSIM and 1 physical SIM. The iPhone 13 family introduced the ability to use 2 eSIMs at the same time, removing the physical SIM and the hole in the case it requires is the next logical step, at least for Apple and at least in the US. The iPhone 14 still has a SIM tray everywhere else. And like I said, I'll be taking my physical SIM out and putting it in other phones as I do right now. So I'm going to use one line specifically for that eSIM. So we'll see how that goes. If you're on a major U.S. cell phone network, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, the lack of a physical SIM tray probably won't impact you much. Even if you change carriers or change phones, you can download an eSIM directly from Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile without going to a store. Good. But if you're on a carrier that doesn't have eSIM support or you're planning to switch to one, well, you shouldn't get the iPhone 14 right now. You might not have not have to wait too long. This could be the push smaller carriers need to get on board with eSIMs. I agree. I'm thinking everybody's going to have to jump on board, at least in the U.S. Outside the U.S., the iPhone 14 lineup still includes nano SIM slots. At the launch event, Apple people told The Verge that the iPhone 14 can store up to 6 eSIMs with up to 2 active at once. The iPhone 14 Pro can hold 8. Okay, so I guess I can hold 8 then. I will be able to. Global eSIM reseller Arilo, and at the bottom they said they spelled this wrong, I think, says previous iPhones could hold 5 to 10 depending on the model. This could take some of the sting out of the loss of the physical SIM tray, though not all international carriers support eSIMs. Yeah, for those that travel, this is probably going to be a problem. I haven't used Arilo and can't vouch for them, but being able to remotely provision a local eSIM when traveling abroad could remove the hassle of finding a local SIM. That's true. If you can have the 2 when you're traveling, I think that's probably a good idea. The ability to have more than one active SIM is great for frequent travelers, people who live in areas where any one network has spotty coverage, or folks who have separate work and personal numbers. I bought my iPhone 11 when I lived in the Netherlands, and it has both the Dutch eSIM and the physical Verizon SIM. That's good. That meant I could use a local SIM whether I was in Europe or the US without losing access to my other number or having to mess with my iMessage or WhatsApp settings. That's great. Physical SIMs make it easier to bring your phone to a different carrier or bring your number to a new phone. That's true. They're ubiquitous, work on all phones, and are easy enough to use, though also easy to lose. Ask me how I know. I've never lost one so far. Many of my coworkers are not psyched about losing a SIM slot. Moving an eSIM from an iPhone to an Android phone isn't necessarily trivial. Yeah, I'll be just keeping my eSIM on my new iPhone when I get it. I don't think removing the SIM tray is necessarily user hostile for most people. Most people just do not switch carriers or phones every few weeks. Yeah, I switch phones almost every day, but not carriers. I stay on T-Mobile with everything. But that depends on how easy providers make it to install and migrate eSIMs across platforms. We'll see how this plays out. Update added information on eSIM support. The iPhone 14 can store up to 6, and the iPhone Pro can store up to 8. Okay. Models sold outside the U.S. Still support nano SIMs. The original text in this photo misspelled the name of retailer Aralo. Well, I guess they fixed it because that's what we saw up front. So the whole eSIM thing, I think is going to be interesting. I'm thinking once I have iOS 6 on both of my iPhones, it shouldn't be a problem for me to install, but we'll find out when it shows up, whenever that is. So let me get out of reader view and get rid of this story. I'm watching for Mike to come in, and I'm watching for whoever else comes in. Any of you have any opinions about the eSIMs or anything else, just put them in the comments and we'll discuss it, especially once Mike gets in here. So, okay, down to the next story. Now, I wanted to talk about the A16. Now, of course, my Pro Max is going to have the A16, and of course, the iPhone 14 Pro will have it. So it sounds, I just thought this was a very interesting story. And I said the A16 Bionic chip, almost enough to power a desktop, almost. So this was on Tech Radar, and I just thought this was an interesting story about how powerful these things get and how small, obviously. So the Apple A16 Bionic shows how far phones have come in closing the processor gap. They won't close it completely. The A16 Bionic can't power a MacBook Pro, but it's getting closer. And that's by John Loeffler. Let me go into reader view, get rid of some of these ads. Like I said, I just found this to be a very interesting subject. So even though Apple's Far Out event on September 7th was a decidedly mobile affair, there was something for those of us who dig deep into the nuts and bolts of computers. I've had the privilege of testing some of the best processors on the market, from Intel's finest to the best AMD processors available, and even a recent deep dive into Apple Silicon. Computer processors have taken on an aura of exceptionalism that make even the best phone processors seem almost quaint. But look under the housing, and we're starting to see some convergence, something that the Apple A16 Bionic shows more than ever. This is pretty amazing stuff. To be clear, the new A16 Bionic is not a desktop chip or even one that can rival those in the best laptops, and he's going to get into that. But given its specs, there are a number of things that point to it being more like these latter two than you might initially think. Check this out. 16 billion transistors is a lot for a processor. So there are 16 billion transistors in this thing, just in the iPhone. The core component of a processor is the transistor, the nanoscopic electronic switch that turns electrical pulses into zeros and ones that can pre-present data and logical operations. Now, keep in mind, folks, I was the programmer for 34 years. When I started programming, it was 81. And transistors, let's see if you could say where, maybe that big, maybe that big. So now you can take that and put 16 billion of them in one phone. That's just mind-blowing. Yes, Mike is in there. Yes, Mike, that's with a B. 16 billion transistors in the latest iPhone Pros. Billion. That's amazing, because I go back to the early 80s when I first started programming. In those days, maybe you could fit at the outside 100 in something, certainly not as small as a phone. Now you can fit. That's just amazing. Being able to squeeze 16 billion with a B transistors into a mobile chip is nothing short of extraordinary. I agree, especially when you compare it to the Apple M2 chip, which packs in 20 billion. So in the M2 chip, 20 billion. That's amazing. That puts the A16 Bionic at about 80% of the transistor density of the Apple M2. That's astonishing. But even more important is the size. Can you imagine how tiny these things are? The A16 Bionic is built using TSMC's 4-nanometer node as opposed to the 5-nanometer node used to fabricate the Apple M2. That means that even though the A16 Bionic die is smaller than the M2s, it still comes reasonably close to density parity in absolute terms. Sure, because you can put 80% of it inside the Apple. It's amazing. This also enables a 5-core GPU and a 16-core neural engine to sit on the SoC along with the central processor. Amazing. And while the A16 Bionic's GPU is half the size of the M2s, it should still prove highly capable of some impressive graphics, especially for a mobile phone processor. Couldn't agree more. I'm watching for you to jump in, Mike. So the neural engine, meanwhile, is the same size as the M2s. And this is where a lot of the improved power of the phone may show itself, especially when it comes to editing photos and videos on the fly. Okay, Mike says he'll be joining soon, so he's setting up. That's good. Okay, Moore's Law is still a thing. Don't mind me, folks. This story just blows my mind, and if you were a programmer from the 80s, you'd probably understand a lot better. The other thing to consider when it comes to the Apple A16 Bionic and the Apple M2 chips is that there is still a physical limit to how many transistors you will ultimately be able to fit on either. Now, yes, there's a physical limit, but who would have thought you'd end up being able to put billions inside a phone? You know, it's just amazing. That hard cap is set by physics, really, since transistors are already working on truly atomic scales as it is. Yes, they are. And while desktop processors especially will have more room to physically grow in size, that's true, much more so than laptop processors, and definitely more than those in phones and tablets. We're really at the point where the physical constraints of die size are what determines a processor's potential power, rather than some remarkably smaller transistor on a desktop product. Given these kinds of constraints, what the A16 Bionic is likely to achieve in terms of performance is fantastic, but it is still running into the limits of transistor density, much harder than desktop chips yet, because desktops have much more room to put more in there, are likely to do for a while yet. That means that next-gen phone processors are still going to lag behind desktop and laptop processors, obviously, and that this gap is only likely to widen going forward because they have to be physically smaller to fit in a phone or tablet. That's true. This is where the issue of transistor density is going to really come into play. Yeah, since as we've seen with the M1 Pro, M1 Max, and especially the M1 Ultra, utilizing the physical space you have to achieve gains in performance is a major asset for those desktop and laptop chips, that's for sure. So while the A16 Bionic looks to be plenty powerful, there is literally only so much space it has to grow. That's true. Unlike Apple's M series chips, so any gains in performance the A16 Bionic can squeeze out is really limited to the effectively smaller transistor size of the 4 nanometer node compared to the 5 nanometer node using the A15 Bionic, and especially something like the Apple M1 chip. The latter was able to physically grow into the larger M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, while transistor density has a much more greater effect on performance. I'm watching for Mike, don't worry, folks. Phone processors will hit a wall long before MacBook chips will. That makes sense. While it's obvious that the A16 Bionic could easily run a computer from just a few years ago, that's true, including some of the best MacBook and Macs that were running some of the best Intel processors of the era, the performance gains on Apple's MacBook and iMac lineups will accelerate ahead of its mobile chip, sure. In terms of performance gains, gen on gen, sure, that makes perfect sense. As powerful as the A16 Bionic might be, it would struggle to run a MacBook Air, though it might be able to do so in theory with some constraints thrown on it. The Apple M1 chip, after all, had 16 billion transistors as well, just like this one does, though it did have a larger 7-core or 8-core GPU. And while it might have been able to power the kind of hardware in an older MacBook Pro running an older Intel chip, in no universe could a modern MacBook Pro, even the 13-inch one, on an A16 Bionic without seriously curtailing your expectation. Well, I guess that makes sense. Gen on gen, the A15 Bionic had 15 billion transistors. So they would just kept going forward, or lessening, I should say, while Apple's latest iPhone chip has 16 billion, or an increase of about 6.7%. Yeah, and here's where you really see the difference between the laptops and the phones. So an increase of 6.7% from 15 billion transistors to 16. The Apple M2, meanwhile, saw a 25% increase in processor density over the M1. Big difference. Apple isn't likely to exactly repeat this feat with the M3, though 25 billion transistors isn't entirely out of the question. Okay, Mike's showing off here. Wait, let me stop screen for a minute. All right, there's Mike showing off.
We're here for a boost.
He's got his Boost Mobile. He talked about that in his.
We got boosted today. I don't mean vaccine wise, even though I had that done. I got boosted.
Boosted used to mean something was stolen from you.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? If I sound, first off, how am I sounding?
You sound better because I know you were sick.
Yeah, but also I've had sometimes microphone
No, your
issue.
mic
So
sounds great. Your mic sounds great.
Mike sounds Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Right?
Mike. Yeah.
There
Hey,
you
Mikey. Hey, Mikey. We like it.
go. Yeah. Yeah. I want to before I don't mean to interrupt, but I have to do this before I forget.
Okay.
You, George, I gave you a subscriber. Hopefully he sees this. A gentleman in customer service at Boost for porting numbers.
Okay.
His name is Lewis. Lewis,
Okay.
I'm giving you a shout out. Here's what I was talking about. Thank you very much. He helped me. We were on the phone almost 40 minutes trying to get me to port from a number that I had at US Mobile over to here. George, my Android line, that Android number that you might have, I'll hit you up. It's on Boost.
Okay. Mostly I've been calling you on the iPhone line anyway.
Yes, but I was about to sunset this number, and then I came across Boost.
Yes, you
a
said
deal.
you said you ran into that deal at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, $15 for 3 months,
Right.
5 gigs of data, and unlimited talk and text.
Right.
I've always wanted to try. Now, mind you, Boost is owned by Dish. That's that part of that T-Mobile promising, not to kill off a third party,
they went over to Dish
keeping a fourth.
when Sprint got acquired, they went over to Dish. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dish took over Boost and some of the Sprint operations that was going on dealing with Boost.
Mm-hmm.
I just got on. I ran out. I did a few other things, and I said I got to get up here and get started. So I'm going to report back on what towers I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
And performance, and I'll be bugging you probably more on my Android line just to keep it going. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so
don't start any fires because we don't want any towering infernos. So I couldn't resist that. I couldn't resist.
Okay,
Lewis, this is my level of humor. You have to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't know if he says he's working late. I had to
Well, he can always watch the replay.
He was very. Let me just tell you this though. I mean, there was somebody you got on the phone, and even though we have these issues at times talking to somebody in another country dealing with customer service, Lewis really tried, and he succeeded. I think he succeeded in getting it. Now I had to also poke US Mobile to say, hey, they're sending you a notification, do something. And of course they're quickly to return to saying, no, we did our part. Yeah, okay.
Well, they don't want you leaving.
Yeah, I got that one. That was probably the longest port in. I mean, I ported in a decent amount of numbers, and normally tops 20 minutes. I got to wait for the full number to come over. 30 minutes.
How long was it this time?
Yeah, it 2+ hours. It was enough time. I was hungry. I stopped, ate dinner, did something with the dog, had to clean up the dog's mess. Did back and forth, and I still had nothing.
Well, thank God you got it done.
Yeah, I got it done. Plus, I have to say, when you get the right person with the right motivation, no matter what part of the country, what part of the world they're in, they want to get it done for you. He's going to get it done. Ted, hey, how you doing? How's
Ted,
everything?
Ted, you've got the link if you feel like joining us. Mike, I don't know if you saw it. No, you probably didn't see in the beginning. I started before I did the iPhone event. I showed a article that a lot of people who ordered today, which is the first day you could order the iPhone and stuff, supposedly we were going to get our phones by next week. Now, I had my order done in the first 10 minutes that you could order. And
wow. Because normally the sites crash in 30 seconds.
Yeah, right. And they were having issues, but my email came back with October 3rd to October 13th. So they're already having issues. So some of us are not going to be getting ours next week or the week after like we were promised. I'll wait till it shows up. But I just wanted to make that point to everybody. And I ordered the gold because the regular 14 had better color options. But of the 4 colors I had to choose from, I ordered the gold because I remembered the last time I had ordered an iPhone gold was the iPhone 6 Plus. That's a long time ago.
Okay.
That's
And what
2014.
model did you go with?
The Pro Max. I said I was
Pro
going to go with.
Max.
I said
You
I
went
was
with
going to go
the
with the
big
best
boy.
because I skipped the 13 entirely. So I'll be going from a 12 Pro to the Pro Max, 14 Pro Max.
So and the 12 Pro is going as a trade-in.
No, I refuse to trade in this time. I'm keeping both.
You're going to keep both.
Now, and I think I have a little edge on the eSIM. Now, you know I have 3 phone lines,
Mm-hmm.
2 of which I carry every day because I always carry at least 2 phones with me. But the third line, I rarely even use. That's the line I'm going to put the eSIM in the new iPhone.
See,
But
this is where uh, the tech community is like losing their mind over, because
yeah,
now to do the moving, like we would just take a SIM card out and put it in,
exactly. Yeah,
and
people
they
are upset.
really stymied that up.
And this is the
So
advantage I have. I do have that one line that if it's going to be locked to one phone, I can afford that. But
mhm.
according to everything they've said and everything I've read,
George,
I'll be able to have the physical SIM and move that around too.
mhm.
So we'll see. But I think I'm
Well,
way ahead of the game because Monday I'll have iOS 6, which means that I should be able to transfer
16, you mean?
16, I'm sorry. So I should be able to activate my eSIM as soon as mine comes all by myself because both phones will have
How
iOS
is
16.
eSIM activation on a T-Mobile? Your T-Mobile, I assume, correct?
Yes.
Hmm.
But I
And
haven't
did
done
you
it.
happen to look into what's going to
I,
take to get that going?
yeah, according to everything I've seen on the Apple site and I've seen on a couple of other videos, once I have iOS 16 on both phones, I should be able to do this wirelessly with no help from T-Mobile or anybody else. So we're going to find out.
Wow,
So,
worth making a video of this,
I might. I gotta wait till it
because it's
shows
a
up.
definite something different, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. Because I can sit right over at the other desk with the camera looking down at the table
Right,
and
right. That's right. Yeah,
do it. Yeah, do it right in front of the camera.
right.
So, yeah, based on what they're saying, once I have iOS 16 on both phones, I should be able to do it over Wi-Fi all by myself. So we'll
I
find
I
out.
I find, just me. I mean, it drives me crazy a little bit when I go, which phone is the iPhone when I hit you up on there.
Okay,
But
yeah.
but
Now,
but
have you used eSIM in your iPhones at all? I
yes,
thought so.
I switched from Mint Mobile just last month to Visible,
Okay.
and I said, well, let's try this eSIM thing out. And my experience with eSIM wasn't the best, and I'm still
Okay.
having these issues now. I'm finding that I think don't hold it to me. I think there's a
Right.
profile I have to go into the settings to go see, because when I was messaging you and I'm thinking I'm on the iPhone, it picked up, what eventually picked up when you replied to me was your
Yeah, I told
email
you I was
account
on
that's
the iPhone.
associated to the iPhone,
Right,
to the
and you didn't, and you couldn't see it was an iPhone.
well, I could, because it was a blue bubble.
Right.
It was a blue bubble, and it said, I forget, something Hayes at gmail.com. And
Right.
I'm like, because I'd done this before with some friends of mine, our friends down in the Carolinas, because they needed to use their iPad
Right.
for a FaceTime call. And you can
Okay.
do FaceTime
Sure.
associated to an email address.
Right.
So I did that. I did that while I did that,
Uh,
and I remember using their email address. Yeah,
Yo,
Gary's saying something.
Gary. Yeah, and Gary's saying Visible Wireless acts up for everyone with eSIM. Okay, thanks, Gary.
Okay,
Good to know.
yeah,
Good to
good
know.
to
So
know,
it's not
because
just you, Mike.
no, and to Gary's point, I'm trying to make calls at times,
Right.
and last week when I was on vacation, I was using the iPhone a little bit more, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to just general calls, and it
Right.
would not connect, and I had to like back out of it all the way, go
Oh, I
back in and
remember you
open.
mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was really wonky at times. So that's why I'm saying my experience. Then again, is a carrier based thing. It could be You know,
Well, based on what Gary's saying, this is more a visible thing. So
Mhm.
me having both my phones, at that point when I get my 14, both phones will be on iOS 16 and both will be on T-Mobile. So according to everything I've read, I should not need any interference. I should not have to go to the store or get anything. I
no,
should be
right.
able
You
to do
should
it
be
by
able to do it all
myself.
from home.
Now, like you said, I'll make the video. I'll just point the camera down on the
Mhm.
table and do it. Once I get it activated on the new one, I'm going to shut off the new one, take the physical SIM, stick it in an Android phone, and see if it'll still work there. I'm thinking that once I shut it off on the iPhone, I should be able to take that physical SIM and stick it in an Android and have it work just like I do now, because I do that all the time.
You mean take the SIM that was in the iPhone and stick it in an Android phone?
Yes, which
Yeah,
I do
but
all the time. I do that all the time anyway.
well, you're. We'll
The
find out.
number,
We'll find
yeah,
out.
yeah. Because when I look at my T-Mobile account, all three of my numbers are there,
Mm-hmm.
so it should still work. So we'll see. Okay. Oh,
Hey there,
Renz is
Rez. How
always
you doing?
apologizing. I know you're working, Renz. We understand. Thank you. So you're very kind as always.
Gary says a few people told him the same story, so it's visible. That's good to know.
Okay, yeah, that is good to know. So
That is good
I'm
to know.
thinking
So
I'm guessing mine will be a lot smoother. And of course, I will have probably looked at 4 or 5 stories on how to do it by that time, probably 20 videos by that time. So we'll
right,
see.
right. This whole eSIM thing really, really. I mean, I think I can't believe carriers were caught off guard, but all of a sudden I saw somewhere is that all of a sudden there's a plethora of all these carrier
Well,
MVNOs.
they probably had word that Apple was doing this, and
Yeah,
once
they had
Apple
word
does
of
it,
it, but now they're saying it.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
some of them came out, I know Cricket made a big deal of going eSIM
okay,
because thanks to Lady Red in Tech
right.
Reviews and talking about it. So and that's still that's a still interesting question. And as Rez, being you're overseas, no eSIM for me, we don't have that
Yeah,
yet.
this is only
How
in
exactly
America so far.
that's the thing I can't get over. You know, Apple is always we have this phone, it goes to the world. It
Right,
goes to everywhere whose country is willing to let me have this phone in their country.
right.
It appears that it isn't going to be that way, and which is really interesting
Well,
how
I don't think so. I think it will be that way. My take is that it was just easier to do this in America first than any place
mhm.
else. That's my guess
so
is that
so so a guy
every,
like Rez can go and buy an iPhone 14, but he's going to be able to use a SIM card. They're actually making two different phones.
that's what I'm thinking they're going to have to do in other countries because they can't use
That's
eSIM in other
insane. I mean,
countries.
I know it's Apple; they got money to
Yeah,
burn, but
if
wow,
you didn't do that, you'd lose more money. You're going to
I
make more
know.
money doing it this way. Yeah.
You know how many people are going to try and sneak those babies in this country? You know how
Oh yeah,
many
yeah.
tech reviewers are going to try and do that?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
going to be
and somebody did. I was watching somebody. I can't remember who it was. Somebody's a video yesterday. He said, "Sure, I could order one from overseas, but that's going to cost me more just to get it in here." And he's got a
mm-hmm.
point, you know. But yeah, there's probably going to be people who do that. Yeah.
Gary. You want to add Canada in there? So basically, it's North America.
No, it said U.S. only. It didn't say Canada. It
I
was
heard I heard Canada too.
wait, let me go back. Let me go
I
back
heard
to
Canada when they were making the announcement.
okay. In the article, and the article I have is from The Verge. It said nothing about Canada. All it says is U.S. Only in the U.S. They stressed that 3 or 4 times. So I haven't seen anything about Canada anywhere. So that's the first time I heard anybody even mention Canada as far as eSIMs go. He's checking on me, folks. You see that? He doesn't
Because
believe you all
you see,
far.
I heard they were releasing the United States and Canada first.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
iPhone in Canada. iPhone 14 and 14 Pros in Canada still have SIM trays, unlike the
See?
US.
So it is
Holy
just
smokes.
US. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Talk about straight up You see that?
Well, it tells me it must have been cheap and easy for them to do it in the U.S. Now they're going to have to start thinking about it to do with other places. My guess is it'll get there, but it's going to be a little at a time, is my guess. They got a bigger problem.
That's crazy.
Batteries in the countries that make them put batteries in the boxes, like Brazil.
So when they did that Apple event, wait a minute. I say I lost my mind when I heard eSIM only. I mean, maybe if they said anything, but
that didn't bother me.
They made a big deal about it.
They did make a big deal about it. Yeah.
So were there two different videos going? You know what I mean?
No. I'm thinking, because they stressed U.S. only, I'm thinking that they assume that everybody knows that they'll be making a SIM for those outside the U.S. That's all. That's obvious. Keep in mind, having the regular physical SIM, that's what they've always had. So they don't have to do anything special for the countries outside of the U.S. They're only doing something special or different in the U.S. And my guess is it's cheap and easy for them to do it in the U.S. and not cheap and easy somewhere else. That's my guess.
It's just. I'm sorry. I'm still getting. I can't get over that.
Well, they're all going to have to adopt it, because now that Apple's doing it, it's coming. They're going to have to. Yeah.
But that seems. I can't help myself. I mean, Verizon came out with their own phone plan just for the iPhone.
Right.
Did you hear about that? Right?
No.
You heard about that?
I am not a Verizon user. I'll never be a Verizon
yeah,
user.
but
Verizon was the greediest of all.
And they are. They are. I wouldn't put it past them that they put this on
before they
onto
became
Apple.
Verizon, I worked for them for a year and a half programming, so I kind of know them. That's why I've never used Verizon. I worked in their billing department. So
that's.
Gary
said.
Gary
will have to adopt to it. Yeah, well,
they're all going to have to adapt to it.
They're all, in the United States they are.
US, yeah, and then it's going to start spreading. And you can bet that Apple's going to put whatever pressure they need to try to put on people in other countries, but it'll probably be a slow process.
So let me ask you this then. Now you got me curious.
Go ahead.
This was a secret I don't know anybody knew about. So did Google know about this? Because are we going to see the Pixel 7 come out with a eSIM only for the States?
I'm going to guess no. I'm sure Google knew about it. They know about it now, but I'm going to guess no, but I don't know.
You want to go with no?
I'm going to go with no. That's my best guess. It probably won't affect me, because the only thing I'm planning to get next month is the watch. I probably am not going to buy the new phone.
Nah. I mean, there's nothing going. What could they pull? What else can they do with a Google phone?
Yeah, I mean, they'll come up with at some point. They'll come up with something that'll make me want to buy the phone. I just don't see it happening now. But I'm dying to get my hands on the Pixel Watch. Did you see the pictures with Sundar Pichai wearing the Pixel Watch?
Who?
Sundar Pichai, the boss.
Oh, no way! Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday he did an interview and he wore the Pixel Watch the whole time. He didn't say anything about it, but
what a troll!
He seemed to make sure that it was showing. Yeah.
That was straight up trolling. No way.
Yep. Yeah, somebody in one of the articles said this is the first time we've seen Sundar actually advertise, even though he didn't say anything. Yeah. It was pretty plain. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, wait a minute. To Google's defense a little bit there, they've been advertising their Pixel 6 lineup too.
Well, plus the fact, I think they have been pushing the leaks for over a year now, since before the Pixel 6s came out. That's just my guess. I think they're pushing the leaks themselves all the way. That's my guess. Before we go to anything else, don't you want to show people your new device?
You mean this one here?
Yes.
Or
I'm talking about the 9.
What about in this bag? Oh,
I'm
sorry.
You did say in your video, but you never told us what.
No, because I haven't officially unboxed it yet.
Oh, okay. I was thinking in terms of the new device that you got
My
this
my
week.
my OnePlus 9 that
Exactly.
I got on a steal because and it's
As opposed to as on an iron rather than a steel. Okay. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
no, Lewis just turned. It's just left. Okay, Lewis just go. Yeah.
And there's Gary being Gary.
Yes,
He's very
yes.
consistent.
Excuse me, Gary. Let me explain the thought here. Okay, I don't have the other phone with me. I have the Pixel Tensor chip, a 888 Snapdragon, and my Samsung phone downstairs, which has the Samsung 8 Gen. What's the one stand for? What do they go?
Snapdragon 8 Gen 1.
8 Gen
Gen 1
1.
Plus.
No, no plus.
Oh, okay. No
The
plus.
plus model is in the newer versions coming,
Yeah.
newer phones.
Okay. Now, all
Go
you
ahead.
need now is you have to get something with an A16 Bionic, like I did. Just if you're going to get processors.
Nah. No, this here, I know. I'm glad Will ain't here because Will's just going to it's going to ride me like a
he might
hard
join
pony.
because I had 5 iPhone stories in here.
I know. He said he was going to try and join us.
Okay.
He really did. I talked to him last night,
Okay.
but he's back to school.
Oh, he's back to school already. Okay.
All right, yeah. So he said he was going to try and get his work done, but he hasn't. He's not here, so I don't know. Either he's passed out in bed, or he's still working on his schoolwork. Anyway,
No, but he's still just working all weekend long and then off during the week.
yeah, mostly like I think his days off is like Monday, Friday,
Okay,
something like
good.
that. He's
got school the rest
he's
of the
really
time.
having 2 jobs. Yeah, he has 2 jobs. He has his old job for 3 days,
Right.
and he has the
gotcha.
new job for the weekend.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah, I have a dumb
how
plus.
are you liking this thing?
I like it a lot, but
and I didn't comment in the video. I was not impressed with the video quality.
you weren't impressed with what?
The video quality.
Video quality, you weren't impressed. I mean,
I guess because I'm used to iPhone and that kind of stuff,
What do you mean? You said I shot my video. I shot me picking up this phone on this one. Were you not impressed on this phone?
More so than with the OnePlus, yes.
Ever
since the Pixel 6, the video got a lot better than it used to be.
And a bunch of them I did using the S22, I did use my flip. I used my flip.
Right. I think of the phones you just named, the quality of video is the worst one on the OnePlus, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I think all the other ones you say, the video was better, is what I'm saying.
Well, I've only had it for a week.
Right.
It like I said, I'm interested in the OS. But yet I'm stuck. I'm kind of stuck, but I got to push on. I can't believe this phone. This phone is on Android 11.
Right.
So this sat in somebody's warehouse.
Right. Exactly.
For how long now? It's beyond me.
You said it was a open box, didn't you? So somebody has used it already. Yes.
Yes, it was open.
Okay.
It was open. It was put back. And let me tell you now, if you want to get a deal, I've yet to get anything that was questionable. They will rate certain things at like this was at a what do you call satisfactory, not excellent. They will rate it satisfactory to push it out the door.
A long time getting all that tape cut open.
Tell me, well, then I was like going, that was a dumb plus thing. I left my knife at home. Yeah, I thought you get a kick out of that one.
That's right. You were doing it with a key. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
So you have to be like me. I go nowhere without a knife. Now, I mean, if I'm working, yes. But in my car, I have 3 knives. In my bicycle, I have knives. I always have. Right now, I can reach probably 6 knives from where I'm sitting. Right.
Let me tell you, I was so excited. I forgot a lot of things that day. Okay, you know.
You just had one of those days.
Yeah.
I had those days.
Yeah. now it's something just happened just now
Brian
with
is
this
saying OnePlus is done
caseology
in the
case.
US.
This case, I'm getting close to asking for my money back because I don't know if it can show up here.
Okay.
Oh, right here. Does it show right there? It will not seal.
Oh yeah, you can see it
See
coming.
that gap
You
there?
can see it coming loose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great until I took it. I took the phone out of the case to switch SIM cards, and it has this little dimple in it. This is
So you know the one
this is worth, huh? What's
one
that?
thing you don't want to do now, right? Is
Hmm.
fall into the gap. Oh, you left it wide open for me.
People don't leave because please, this is
Why do you think I sang in bands for 50 years rather than do a comedy act?
yeah, this wow, this like
That is, I can see where that would be annoying. That's brand new.
it is
right?
annoying.
Okay.
It's annoying as you know what. Nah, this is going back.
Okay. Well,
This is
hopefully
going
they'll
back.
send you another one and it's good. You know.
Yeah. This is. I love when people give me material to make because I'm about half tempted to make a video and CC,
Well,
at
I would give
caseology
them,
on it.
I would give them another chance first.
I get it. Yeah, I know. I'm not.
Chance to
I
make
do
good
like
on
the
it.
case. Just give me another one.
Yeah.
I'll go through the motion of getting
I've
another
never
one.
had a caseology case that had that kind of issue ever.
No, I
And
like
I've had a
the
few.
color.
Yeah.
I like the texture on the back and all. It's nice, but
Yeah, that's
wow.
annoying.
Yeah. So as a whole,
Maybe it got that way because it was on Dumb Plus.
don't give Gary any more fuel. Okay.
I'm giving Gary fuel.
Yeah,
on
you are. You are. So, yeah, I have another phone, and
So we have to wait for an unboxing before we even find
yeah,
out.
yeah. I'm
Hey,
I want to share,
I have
but
another pair of earbuds that I got today in the box, and I haven't even told anybody what they are.
yeah. All
I'm
deals.
becoming Mr.
Yeah,
Earbuds all of a sudden.
Gary saying they all have deals. Yeah, I'm
Casetify.
Caseify. Yeah. I think them and another brand.
I don't know.
There's some
The
really
brand
cool
that
ones. I think
know and
Caseify
like
makes.
Spygen, I've liked Speaking, I've liked, but I've never heard of Casetify. That's a new one on me. I know
Mike's
from
got to
my
get a moto.
iPhone,
Oh my God, Gary, please don't torture me, man. I really
here's the Moto.
I really would like to get a moto to complete it all.
This Plus 2022, I think, is awesome.
They got that new Edge out, new Moto Edge.
This is the Edge Plus, and now
Plus.
this is the high end one that they came out with a cheaper one. But I bought this one when it first came out in March, and I like this phone a lot.
Do you?
And some of the videos, especially some of the camera comparisons I've done, people have liked it. I wouldn't say the cameras are on par with the S22 Plus or the iPhone 12, but I'd say the cameras are at least as good as the Z Flip 3, which I like a lot too. So pretty good stuff, I think. For what did I pay for this? $700, I think, initially. No, $800 when it first came out. So. Yeah, that's true for all of us, Gary. We all have, well, three of us all have that soft spot. That's true.
Can't give them up, and to be honest with you, they seem like they've lately taken a turn for a little bit of the seriousness. I think I think the new Edge that just came out is going to get 2 OS updates.
Okay.
I think that's what I understood, and the Plus is going to get
trust Moto to do it. Because sometimes they say
they got a lot online.
Do it. Yeah,
they got a lot online because they
because to me OnePlus has fallen off in my head because I used to have a soft spot for them and then I lost it.
And it goes back to, am I letting other people influence my thought process a little bit? But people have talked about Color OS and the new once I do the update, how bad is it going to be?
Right.
I'm going to plan on making either a video, a separate video, or incorporating that. To be honest with you, what I want to do with this is Moto is killing. Yeah, I know, Gar. I know that, and also, I'll get back to what I was saying, but also, what's that other brand? T-Mobile, MMV, Metro. Metro's doing pretty good too. But I want to do with this phone, which I really want to. This video, I'm going to put some time into, not just like come up here, shoot a few, and piece it together. And I don't want to seem like I'm copying, but I like that style, and I want to highlight. I would like to do what the Unlocker does, the day in the life of.
No, he's good. Yeah, he's good.
That kind of thing. To show the cameras, to show how well the phone does or does not do.
You know who else does that? Is Serrano does that once in a while too.
Serrano does it. Yeah, Serrano just does a bang up job. I've been meaning
to do it. I've just never gotten around to doing it.
Yeah, so I was thinking of trying to shoot majority of the videos this Sunday, and work on throughout the week trying to piece it together here. So
yeah, I got to do some earbud comparisons between the Pixel and the Samsung, but then I have the new ones too that I'll be throwing in there. So I'm going to try to get some of that done this weekend. But I was looking forward to riding bicycle, and it looks like it's going to rain all day tomorrow. So
yeah, that's Gary's. That'd be cool. Gary's thing saying, "How about a weekend with a device?" Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and circling back to Motorola would be. See, I would like to get a Moto phone and put it on my work line. That would free up the S22, and then I would have access to the big boys. And I don't mind playing with my work line, but I don't, because then right now
you still want it to be your work line,
right? Because then it kind of reminds me of work a little bit. First thing to come on is I'll see my work emails. You know what I mean? And I try to do video on it, and I try to shoot video, and I got to kind of like in my head got it twisted around and saying this is YouTube time with it, and I just can't.
Yeah, I just can't. I just got a thumbs up on Facebook. Cool.
Did you?
Yes, and looks like.
I wonder if it's my mom.
Oh, could be. Anyway, Gary, I think that's a very good idea, the whole weekend with the device. I think that's a very good idea. So thank you. So there you go, Mike. We'll be expecting that at some point next week or next weekend, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But no, this one I'm going to take more time to do.
Yeah.
Look, it's Don. Look, Don's comment came through. That's pretty cool how that shows up like that.
Oh, it's Don that did the. Oh, okay. Thanks, Don. That's right. It does show me that he's on Facebook. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. You are definitely not Mike's. You are definitely not Mike's mom. I know.
I got to make sure Mom subscribes to you on Facebook.
She's much cuter than you. Very good, Don. Good.
Well, thanks, Don. That's good for him. That's cool.
Every time Don gets on, I feel like I should sing Oklahoma, but I was never very good at singing that particular song. Even for me, that's old. That play was out in the 50s.
Here we go. We just
where are we going? Here we go.
We have T-Mobile makes Samsung already affordable Galaxy A23 5G free with no trade-in.
Okay. See, I have it ever since the 852, which I loved. I ended up selling it to Don, which he loves it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you get down below the 850s, I'm probably not going there. That's just me, though.
And that's the other thing that really stinks right now. Talking about that's how I acquired this T-Mobile bag is for a promotion like this. Okay. And it was the worst experience.
Really?
And I have a feeling I'm going to have to put some of my weekend into. I got to give them a little leeway, but I want to see what their answer is going to be. I just before it went online, before coming on here.
So you've got issues already, you're saying?
Not with the phone, yeah, with the account. See, the
Oh.
thing is, that what the promotion was is if I talked about it in my
Your other
vlog
video.
was it was $50 straight
Right.
out
Right.
with a trade.
Sound like
Now,
you went through a lot too. Through a lot
Yes.
on the phone. Yeah.
Now, granted, Phone Arena said in their article, any condition and anything.
Right.
T-Mobile had it as $50 and a working smartphone,
Right.
any kind of smartphone,
Which you had.
which I did.
With
I
your
traded
Moto
in,
X.
right.
Thank God you went
But-
to the store.
But
That
wait a
guy-
minute, no,
the guy
yeah,
on the
John,
phone
I was ordering it online
Right, but that
to
guy
save
wasn't
the
helping
30
you.
some bucks
Right.
for the because they charge you for that for something you could do,
Right.
but they make it hard for you. Activation fee, $35 for an activation fee that you can very well do.
Exactly.
And it kept on coming up that this phone was going to cost me $5 a month, and I'm like, oh
Right.
no,
Supposed to be
I have a
free.
credit card to put. There's no spot to put the credit card information in to pay for $50 and be done with it.
Yep.
It kept on saying your monthly payment's going to be $5. No, that works out for a 2-year commitment, $120. I'm
And the
like,
guy you talked to was no help at all, right?
no, that again, Lewis worked his tail off. He
Yeah.
worked with me. You know what I
Well,
mean?
sounds like the girl in the store worked her tail off with you.
Yeah,
too.
she at the store pointed out this. She, they all have the thing in the back of their, whip it out and show you, go through, all kind of deals and
But
perks.
you said
and
she kept saying this is supposed to be
supposed to
free.
be for free, even this phone.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 2 versions of this phone. This one was supposed to be also for free.
Right.
So she's there, and she had trouble. That was the most embarrassing thing. I'm on the
Yeah.
phone trying
And
to
you
get
were
the
right.
website up.
They should be embarrassed, not you.
They should be embarrassed, and she
they
couldn't.
can't even use their own system.
They can't use their own stuff. I'm in the store.
Right.
My pixels showing. I'm on 5G ultra capacity UC, and it just fell on its face.
Now, I haven't activated or even tried to use a T-Mobile phone inside a store in about 2.5 years. But it seems to me the last time I was in the T-Mobile store at the mall, we had the same problem trying to get on their Wi-Fi network with their phone. So I don't know.
They told me not to go on the Wi-Fi, to get off the Wi-Fi because
Oh, okay.
there's. That guy said to me, he says, we're stuck using Xfinity.
Oh boy, that's bad. That's real bad.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry, I don't want to be on it either. So,
Well, like when I'm broadcasting like I am right now, I am not on Xfinity. I use my phone as a mobile hotspot, so I am on T-Mobile, not Xfinity. Not till
I can't get
off.
over how that is something else. You're on
I do
you're
this
on
every week.
T-Mobile hotspotting, and
Yeah,
I
'cause
can't
I
get
don't- 'cause
over.
I don't trust Comcast.
It is flawless.
Yeah, I think we've had one burp since I started
Yeah.
doing this. I started doing
And
this
you
like
don't now.
6 years ago.
Is your part of your package, because normally they get you with a limit. Like mine's
Right.
7 gigs of data.
Yeah.
Do you burn through all your
No, never. No, never even get close. Me or Eleanor.
on a hotspotting?
Yeah, even when I'm hotspotting. Keep in mind, I only hotspot for 2 hours a week.
Yeah, but it adds up for the time cycle. For the
Like I
cycle
said,
that you're in.
I never come close. And I've used all different phones. Today I'm using the Z Flip 3, but I've used almost every phone I have. Right now in front of me, I have the S22 Plus, the Pixel 6 Pro, the Moto Edge Plus 2022, the Z Flip 3, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. I have used all of those as hotspots during this broadcast.
That's impressive that you don't have no limit like that. But
Yeah. Connect to other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing was, way her program was on her. I think it was like a glorified iPad.
Yeah, they all have some little kind of yeah.
They proceeded to. She's trying to type a lengthy note in there,
Right.
and it would stop her. And she had to like go back and retype it again, and she's trying to put less words in, and then she had to put another page in there.
Wow.
It was
That
really
sounds-
frustrating.
That sounds worse than enterprises that they use in their branches, and theirs are pretty bad.
So I just before going online, I checked my bill because I got confirmation. I checked the tracking. They did get the phone.
And so you don't have to pay no $5 a month.
No, I'm paying right now $9.17 a month. That's what they have me down. That's what I want to know. What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, George, understand, they just got the phone. Actually, you know what? They just got the phone today.
Okay.
So let's give them some time.
All right.
You know what? I'll give them another week. Let them
But you
process the
Go
phone.
back to the store and have that girl help you.
And then, yes, I will be going back next week.
Yeah.
I will be going back next week. So,
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
you
that
want
was
to go
just
over any of
it was
these
bad.
stories? Or you want-
I really came in cold.
okay.
I came in
Well-
cold. Where's my
let's-
email?
Do you have the? I sent you.
Where's my
I sent you
email
the
now?
link to all the stories last night
Yeah. I know. I'm
because I would like to talk about iOS 16, which is the next story we've got coming up.
I want to know what iOS 16 is going to be like on my SE.
I want to know, have
Mhm.
you ever seen the rain? Okay. I'm going to see the rain
The
tomorrow.
12th.
or
So that's
tonight.
Monday. Are you talking
Monday,
about the
yes.
one from The Verge?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm pulling it up right now. You want to read it or should I read it?
Can you read? Because with my nasal, I cannot. I want to be coughing I cough as it is right now. So I apologize to
Hey, Mike.
everybody.
Mike, don't get snotty with me, okay? Okay. From The Verge, Apple is releasing iOS 16 to iPhones on September 12th, which is Monday, with brand new lock screen features. I'm kind of excited for this too. So let's go into read a view. Apple is releasing iOS 16. This is by Barbara Krasnoff. Today, Apple announced that it was releasing its latest operating system, iOS 16, which I have not been on the beta at all, on September 12th. It first announced a free upgrade last June during its Worldwide Developers Conference 2022 and released the public beta in July. People have been loving the beta as far as I can see. Unfortunately, the release of iPadOS 16 has been delayed, despite the fact that traditionally the two operating systems are released together. Yeah, this will be the first time I'll see them not released together.
iPad OS 16 has been delayed?
Yeah, so yeah, I've never seen them all. Usually I do my phone, my iPad, and my watch all in the same day. This will be the first time I'm not seeing the iPad with it. So this was the first time I realized that iOS 6, and they're not telling us why iPadOS 16 is delayed, as far as I can tell. So so you'll be able to do your phone and your watch, I guess. Okay. As a result, the plethora of features that will come with the update won't be much of a surprise. They'll start with a variety of improvements to the lock screen, including the ability to add widgets and customize its look, and the new way of presenting notifications. So I'm thinking you should be able to do your lock screen stuff just like me. You will be able to edit and recall sent messages with some limitations. Use the new iCloud shared photo library to share photos with your family, and use the live text feature to pull text from videos as well as photos with new abilities added. Now, I'm assuming that share photos with your family is only going to be if they have an iPhone also, I'm guessing. The new operating system is perfectly timed to be introduced along with Apple's latest iPhones, 14 Pro Max, which will be available for pre-order on September 9th today and available in stores September 16th. Meanwhile, if you weren't willing to install a better version of iOS 16 on your existing iPhone, because after all, betas are officially unfinished, you won't have to wait long to take advantage of these upgrades. So I'm thinking that you said you're curious on how it's going to act on your SE. I don't see why it would act any different than on mine. Do you know any reason why it would act differently?
there were in the past there were certain things that did not work because I had the SE model, or vice versa. Means I had Touch ID, it
I
worked,
didn't
but
know that.
whatever the case may
Oh,
be.
yeah. Yeah, Touch ID is different.
I think
That's
some of
true.
them, oh, what are those? The emojis thingies. I think they didn't work right. They were
Okay.
they weren't capable of working because I didn't have the notch with the cameras
Okay.
in it and stuff.
That does make sense. Yeah, if you have a phone that's physically different, that makes sense that
Yeah, with
everything's
some
not going to work.
yeah, that would due to hardware limitations. So,
Yeah.
but when there's no, I don't see any kind of thing pertaining to a hardware limitation. So come Monday, sometime Monday,
Yeah.
the
We'll
world's going to
see.
explode with every time
Yeah.
there's a iOS update.
Yeah. Yeah. The iPad OS, that's shocking to me because I've never done one without the other. So this will be a first for me.
Brian saying maybe with 3 gigs of RAM and it affects the SE. I
Yeah,
think they
it
got
could
that
be.
well figured out. I really can't see
Yeah.
them.
If anybody figured that out, it's Apple. You can count on it.
I don't see it becoming a problem with having perform. I mean, if they did, they would be announcing it by now. I
I
would think.
agree. Although, why aren't they telling us why iPad OS is delayed? Or at least why didn't the Verge tell? I don't know. Anyway, oh, and I guess you saw this about the fact that you're paying them $9 a month right now.
Say what?
Mine's Gary says get your money back.
Oh yeah, no, I'm giving it a little time, Gary. Don't worry.
Okay.
Next week would be. What did I do that Monday? I did it on Labor Day.
Okay.
So I got until next. I think I got 14 days, and the
Okay.
phone's still not open. I don't know. Now the phone's going to be open soon. Trust me.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can understand that. I would hope as soon as we get off, you'll be doing an unboxing and getting it to us.
I'm going to bed.
That's
I'm
right.
still a little sick.
You have
So
a sinus infection. I forgot.
yeah, I have a sinus infection. It's been tearing me up here. So,
Okay. Well, I'm
but
glad you're better than
yeah,
you were.
I'm going to I trust me. It's killing me just looking at it down there. But I also have this fine gem here.
And you're
I
still
think
learning
I'm
with
going
that.
to upgrade to the next operating system. And I just moved my personal SIM to this phone so I can use it more this weekend.
So
And I'm going
iOS
to
12 is sitting there for you to install it?
iOS what? Oh,
12?
Android 12.
I mean Android 12, sorry. Is it sitting
Is
there
it
for you to
Android 12?
install? Yeah, it should be Android 12.
Let's see. No, it is Android security patch for April of this year.
Oh, so they're still behind.
That's It's. Well, let me see what happens.
Okay.
I'll get the. It's real small.
Okay.
124 megabytes.
Nice.
Megabytes. Am I
So
saying it right?
really is, yeah. It really
Now
is
I'm
just a
telling
security
saying the
button.
battery's too low, so I got to
Okay.
go and throw it on the. So that charging feature is incredibly.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
that's one of the best things about
Wow.
having.
So, hey George, I hate to do this, but I'm going to get out of here because I'm running out of gas real fast.
Okay, and
So,
you're starting to sound a little stuffier.
little hoarse too. Yeah. So,
Okay. All right.
but
Well, we're glad you came in, sir.
yeah, I wanted to make an appearance, and we'll be talking through the week, especially on my Android line.
Yeah, and
And
especially what you've been going to with your phone. Now we're looking forward to the next installment of The Adventures of Mike.
yes, oh yeah, every Monday and Friday for sure. There's always an adventure somewhere's going on,
Oh,
and something in
now,
You got me
between.
saying,
and now look.
Oh, well, Ted, I'm glad you're here to take over my spot. Okay.
Yeah, Mike is leaving because he's not feeling good. So,
feel better, Mike. Yeah, I thought I would
Yeah.
just hop on
And,
quickly. So, pass the
Yeah,
baton,
the
Mike.
sinus infection is killing me, man.
You checked the lighting and you thought I was a black guy? Oh.
But yeah, I'm sorry about your sinus. What are you feeling, in the front or the sides?
Up here, right here, right here.
Oh,
Eyes are this, especially this one eye feels like it's like this.
So you've been
Yeah.
having the headaches and all that good stuff?
Yeah. It's the pain.
That's the worst
The pain.
kind.
The pain. I got medicine to kill the pain, but I'm just, you hear my voice. I'm done.
Well, we're glad Ted came in anyway.
All right,
go
Ted.
take
Save
care
the rest of the day now. I'll
We'll
see
have
you guys
Pat
later.
take care of you. All right.
get well,
All right.
get well,
All right,
Mike.
see you guys.
All right, Ted,
Long live
so
Mike.
are you ordering anything from Apple? Anything impress you?
Nope. Hey, Brian. Yeah, what impressed me? What impressed me was that
Oh, wait a minute. What impressed you was what? Go ahead.
that satellite. You guys talked about it. The new satellite technology.
Oh, yeah, that is impressive. But keep
Yeah.
in mind, Google's doing the same thing too.
And Huawei already did it. Like, actually, no, Huawei announced it the day before Apple.
Well, I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You didn't hear about the Huawei Mate 50 launch?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's going to come out with, oh, hold on. Excuse me. Let me cough this out. Rangers.
Texas Rangers? You are in Texas. Okay.
But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. That Huawei apparently is going to have a variable. You can change the aperture. So 1, 2, even 3 stops. So
I
it
know
goes
you're
from.
excited. So are you going to get it then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so far
I would think-
this will be the third smartphone to ever do that. The first, obviously, being the Galaxy S9, then the Xperia Pro I, and now these. But yeah,
Okay.
Huawei really, they really give you an option. So yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
So I would think it would be a lot cheaper than the Xperia, or am I wrong?
Well, funny enough, the Xperia has gone down in price. So you can get it for like $1,400 brand new from Sony themselves. So it's
How
gonna
much
cost
is
more.
how much is the Huawei?
Ooh, they didn't announce prices yet.
Oh, okay. That's
Well,
scary.
Yeah. But yeah, back to Apple. Ooh, yeah, it was just that feature that impressed me. I'm obviously glad that they have on crash detection. That's another feature, but really nothing. I was really impressed by anything. The one thing that had me question though was the 4K cinematic mode. Like, I was glad cinematic mode could finally do.
People are excited about that.
Yeah, it can finally do 24 frames a second, which it should have been
Right.
able to do from the jump, since it's called cinematic mode.
So are you saying the dynamic island didn't excite you at all? I'm
It's a pretty
totally
thing.
excited for that.
It's a pretty thing, but it
I think
reminds me of the Touch Bar MacBook Pros. It's pretty, but
Okay.
it
Yeah,
doesn't.
but who expected this on a phone and to be able to actually make something useful out of the pill or the notch?
It's not useful.
I think it's very useful.
It's not. It is a status bar, George. It's just a status bar that moves around.
Giving you notifications, you can respond to changes based on what's coming in. I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's brilliant.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Darn it! Something about a feature. Oh yeah, so 4K, 24 frames a second cinematic mode.
Right.
What I wanna know though is if that feature is gonna come down to the iPhone 13,
Oh,
because usually Apple is evil about that.
You think that's just software and nothing else?
They have the same processor, George.
Yeah. No, the A16 is on the iPhone Pro models.
Yeah, but they said 4K cinematic mode was gonna be on the non-Pro models.
Okay, then you're right. Then it should be able to get
It should be on so it should be able to come down to the iPhone 13. But Apple has never bring nice features over to older.
They're not like Google, which just throws everything eventually.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's weird. By rights, there's really no excuse at that point. Yeah, Brian is like, yeah, I mean, Dynamic Island, it's all style. There's no substance, really.
I think it's awesome. And there are other people out there who think it's awesome too. I think it's awesome. That's just me. I have a right to my opinion. Don is saying the Note 8 had variable aperture. I didn't know that.
Did
I've
it?
never had. Yeah, I've never had a Note. I haven't had a Note since the Note 3, so don't go by me.
Does he mean the Note 9?
He says the Note 8. Don usually knows what he's talking about.
Actually, hold on. Yeah, I think the Samsung finally brought them to parity, right? So it would be the Note 8, Galaxy S9, and then Note 8. It was with the S10s, right? That they brought them on the same line, right?
See, Don, he's accusing you because you moved out of Texas and he's mad.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the Note 9 got skipped over to make it the Note 10. So yeah, Don is right. The Note 10, the Note 8 did have variable aperture.
That's right. They did skip one. That's right. I forgot about that. Okay. Anyway, I haven't had a Note since the Note 3. So.
Well, what do you think about an active man like yourself, George? You're going to get a Apple Watch Ultra?
No chance. No, the only thing I was determined to
no
get
chance.
was the top end iPhone, and that's mainly because I skipped the 13 entirely, and I was determined not to trade in my 12 Pro because I want them to compare against each other. So,
Okay, but yeah, I had no intention of buying phones
just
this year.
I'm waiting for the Pixel Watch in next month, but I'm probably not going to get a phone because I have a 6P already, 6 Pro already. So.
Ooh, but yeah, I had no intention of getting an iPhone this year since next year we get to see we should be taking bets on this whether what Apple's going to do with the EU ruling. If are they going to put a USB-C on the iPhone or are they going to take out the port?
No, they're going to have to. They're going to put a USB-C.
You don't think they're going to take off the port entirely?
No, I don't think so.
They took off a SIM tray. They took out a SIM tray.
I think it would be cheaper to put USB-C than to remove it entirely. That's my guess. And
cheaper for whom, George?
For Apple, as far as programmatically.
I don't know. I think it would be cheaper for them to actually it would be cheaper for them to just take out the port entirely and then just have us deal with the price changes for all of them.
No, but when I say cheaper, I'm talking about how much work does any programmer and how many programmers have to do to get it working. I'm thinking it's going to cost more to remove it.
But the programmers have already done the work.
As far as development costs. Yeah, but if they're going to go with USB-C, then they haven't done the work to remove it yet. And do they want to spend the money? I'm thinking, no, they don't. Why? I'm thinking they probably shouldn't. I wouldn't if I were them. I would just give them USB-C. And I know Apple doesn't like the fact that the EU is forcing them. But let's face it, this is not the first time the EU has forced them to do something. And now Brazil's forcing them to do something. And so are other countries. So.
Okay, we need to take a huge pull on this.
Anyway, I'm very excited for the dynamic island. I'm probably going to do a video just on that alone. Gary says no new phone for him this year, unless
no new phone for me. Unless
somebody gives you one.
Speaking of someone gives me one, I did get a new phone to replace my LG G8X.
Oh, okay, so what'd you get?
I got. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it, but believe it or not, it's a V60. Look at it, so big and thick.
You mentioned it on Twitter, didn't you?
Twitter and yeah, the Telegram. Yep.
And on Telegram, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, I keep thinking I'm going to end up getting a V60 one of these days.
Oh, look at that!
Still loves it. Yeah.
Yes. What was it gonna say? Actually, you can get great prices for these on what was it? Amazon Renewed.
I saw some for like $250, something like that.
Yep, $250. At one point, it was $179.
And if I get one, I'm not gonna get both screens. I don't need the extra screen. If I get one, I'm gonna get it for its cameras.
Well, yeah, I got it because for all that it could offer. So it was a bit of a pain getting the screen, to be honest.
Yeah.
I should because I had to get it through eBay, and it was like.
Look at Gary being Gary. Nice.
Well, no, because Visible is very selective.
He rolled somebody in an alley. So what'd you say?
Oh yes, yeah, but yeah. So someone confirmed that the V60 works on visible now. So I was like, all right, let me go get one then.
That's right. You said that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So,
first, I did get one like long ago, like last year. I tried it out, and
right. And
so
it
like
didn't
I
work
want,
out. You got rid
yeah,
of it right away, I remember.
yeah, I got rid of it. But then they confirmed like it works now. So I was all right, let's get rolling.
Okay. I'll probably end up getting one of these days. Probably not that long either. As cheap as it's gotten. Anyway, I got two
But
more stories to get through.
and bad news, so they don't want to take my LG. Amazon doesn't want to accept my trade-in for the LG G8X. So then,
Oh, they
oh
won't take it?
yeah, they quoted me $25 to trade it in,
Okay.
and they said, the lowest, if it's not up to par, the least they'll give me is $11.
Okay.
They received it yesterday, and they gave me a message today saying that it's nothing. They'll give me $0. You can take it back.
Why? Did you beat it up that much?
Apparently, they say that I didn't disconnect it from my account, but that's a lie. I did.
Oh, okay. Very
I know
weird.
I did the whole boot locker thing and
All you had to
everything,
do
but
was factory reset, right?
yeah, that's all you have to do. But you know what? I think it's because they can't. The digitizer on the phone wasn't working, so they can't even like press the screens to even like check. So they just made up any old excuse.
Okay, here Don has a question that you can answer because he bought my G8X.
Oh, the differences like a huge amount of, like the V60 is like a clear upgrade over the G8X.
Okay.
The
And
immediate one I would say is the fingerprint, the optical fingerprint sensor is way better on the V60 than the G8X.
okay.
That's the first big difference.
And the V60 came out before the G8X, right?
No, it came afterwards.
Oh, it did came after? Okay, sorry. All right, well, I would think the camera's going to be a lot better.
Yeah, the cameras are a lot better on the V60.
I thought, okay. I wouldn't be surprised to see Don get one of these days since they're cheap now.
Let's see what you got for a story. But one thing
Right, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, what do you have left for stories?
Okay, I have the Brazil suspending iPhone sales. You want that one, or should I just read it?
Oh, let me get that. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm sharing it. That's on 9 to 5 Mac. Yeah, there's only one more story after this. All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm on the website. No. Okay, I'm ready. It's a good
Okay,
one.
good.
Ahead of iPhone 14 event, Brazil suspends iPhone sales without power brick and fines Apple by Jose Adorno.
Yep. Okay.
No, Brazil's Justice Ministry has determined the suspension of iPhone sales without a power brick. In addition, the government has fined the Cupertino company a $2.3 million bill. Oof. That's just like chump change. One executive could probably pay that. This was published in today's Brazilian Federal Register. The information comes from Brazilian's publication. It's the application of a fine in the amount of Brazilian dollars 12,200,074.500. Cancellation of registration of iPhone brand smartphones.
And that converts to what it set up above. So go ahead.
Introduced on the market from the iPhone 12 model and immediate suspension of supply of all iPhone branded smartphones, regardless of model generation, accompanied by a power brick. The government decided that it won't apply the daily fine if Apple doesn't suspend iPhone sales without a power brick. It won't apply the daily fine.
So I gather that 2.3 million is daily, I guess, because it stopped me right there too when I read that.
This will occur if the company doesn't follow the local in the near future. Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're
In the
serious.
October of 2021, the Justice Committee notified Apple and Samsung about the companies not being clear regarding why they removed the power brick from their smartphone lines. This May, this May, the government asked Brazil's consumer protection regulator to start with administrative proceedings against Apple and Samsung with the introduction of the Z Flip 4 and Z Fold 4 in Brazil. Samsung complied with Brazilian government guidelines and is now including a power brick with the new smartphones. Apple, on the other hand, doesn't have the accessory in the iPhone boxes.
I think that's much smarter for Samsung to just go with it.
In October of 2020, when it introduced the 12 line, Apple said it was aiming to be carbon neutral by 2030. With customers owning several power bricks at home, according to the company, it will be more beneficial for the environment to now offer a power brick with the newer phones. That said, the governments all over the world have sued Apple or asked for clarification. In some cases, the company had to distribute the power brick with new iPhone sales. Apple hasn't commented on the matter yet. Oh, update.
Yep.
Apple has decided to comment on the matter. The company claims that it will appeal the Brazilian government's decision as it believes that removing the plug adapter from the iPhone box is helping to reduce plant's carbon footprint.
Nobody's buying that anymore, I don't think.
So here they are. They're saying there are billions of USB-A power adapters already in use around the world. The problem, though, is that the new power adapters that they were selling, the USB-A power adapters don't work with the USB-C cables that they've been giving with the iPhone. So,
right.
Exactly.
But the thing that kills me is they've already caved in some countries. They're just not telling us which countries they've already given into.
Listen, we have already won several court decisions in Brazil on this issue and are confident that our customers are aware of the various options for charging and connecting their phones. We will continue to work with Senacon to address their concern and plan to appeal this decision.
Yeah, but right up here, it said governments have sued, and in some cases, the company had to distribute the power. Why didn't they tell us which ones they actually are doing it with? And why are they fighting Brazil so hard on it then? I don't get that.
Let's see. Oh, look at Gary saying Apple is going portless.
I don't think so. I think they'll go USB-C. Keep in mind, they've already got them on the iPads. So I don't think they're going to go portless. I think it's going to cost too much money as far as programming, and people I'd have to pay. I don't think they're going to do it. I tend to look at things from a programmer's point of view. So
I tend to look at it from Apple just wanting to charge people more money, inconvenience, and how bad Apple wants to inconvenience people.
Well, I don't know about inconvenience, but yeah, of course they want to charge people more money. But if it's going to cost them more money to have programmers program for a portless, I think they'll go with USB-C. That's my guess. I just think it'll be much cheaper for them. What is he saying? Because Tim Cook hates
beautiful.
Well, does he hate beautiful Brazilian women or men? Now, come on. We got to be specific.
He hates them both.
Okay.
It's because they look good in swimsuits. And when was the last time you saw Tim Cook without a shirt?
Yeah, well, I don't look good without a shirt, so I'm not going to say anything about that.
He doesn't like getting tan. Tim Cook doesn't tan.
Brian says both. Okay, I got one story left, which is the last story. And this, I figured I did 5 Apple stories in a row, so I had to put in something for Google. So this is my one Google story that I had this week. So I'm sharing now, and that was on 9 to 5 Google. The other one was 9 to 5 Apple, I believe. Okay, it's all coming together this fall. That's part of the announcement. Let me go into review. Okay, this is by Abner Lee, and this is from day before yesterday, from Tuesday. Google this morning announced that it will be hosting a Pixel hardware event on Thursday, October 6th. Google already teased the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro as well as the Pixel Watch at I/O 2022 in May. This upcoming event will fully detail those products' features, pricing, and availability. It's all coming together this fall tagline that emphasizes the ecosystem of products. There will be a live stream on October 6th. Get this, at 10 a.m. Eastern. Now, when they announce it in Eastern, but when Apple announces, they announce it in Pacific. So it's interesting that they do that. For those online, while the company is hosting an in-person event in Brooklyn. Well, that's probably because it's in Brooklyn. This is made by Google's first physical presence after 2 years of virtual announcements in 2020 and 2021. To watch the live stream, go here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a teaser video for the October 6th event cycles through the upcoming flagship phones, wearable, and curiously Pixel Buds Pro, which I already have. You can sign up for reminders. So I'm dying to get my hands on the watch, whatever it comes out looking like, and I'm probably not going to get anything else. And I already have the Pixel Buds Pro right here. So we're good to go. Matter of fact, I used them all day at work today. So that was my last story. Now we want to go through the glowing rectangles. Right. Wait. Let's see. Brian is still on Tim Cook because men reject him and women find him repulsive. What do you say? Sing it, Ted. Everybody talking this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? There you go, Ted. Sing it. I'm not hearing you. Are you talking?
Sing what?
You went silent. I thought it was a song you would know. At least he thinks it's a song you would know.
What song?
I don't know it.
What do you want me to sing?
I guess there's a song with these lyrics, I assume.
Sing it to everybody, talk about all this. Why don't they just... I don't know what song that is.
I don't either, but I'm old. I'm not supposed to know. You're young. You're supposed
Everybody
to know.
talk. Let's see what...
He said Bobby Brown songs. See, I don't know any Bobby Brown songs. Well, even that, but of course, a Bobby Brown song, even that would be an old song these days.
Yeah, it would be.
All right, you want to go over glowing rectangles?
Let's see.
I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done it.
As always, we're going to talk about glowing rectangles, and I'll let Ted talk about it since he hasn't done it in a while.
Oh, I'm doing all this on an iPad, so let me just pull this up. There we go.
You've done it before.
And it's been a while. Oh, right. Oh, my goodness. He changed the words, Juan. Darn it. Okay, here. Okay, it's in the second paragraph. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in these tech stories and you want to see other tech stories brought to you by other like-minded individuals and not some algorithm, then head on over to www.glowingrectangles. No. It's www.reddit.com/glowingrectangles.
No, /r/glowing rectangles.
Whoops. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in to see tech stories put forward by real people and not an algorithm, then head on over to reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles.
There you go. You're out of practice.
Glowing Rectangles is a home for tech enthusiasts. It's for enthusiast tech reviews. There is a wealth of content being produced every day by passionate technology fans, much like yourselves, guys. Real person, real reviews. Glowing Rectangle's mission is to just focus on a homegrown content from individuals and smaller blogs. Yeah.
And you can put your own stuff there if you so choose, be it videos or blogs.
Yeah, if you find something that you would love to, that's tech related, you want to share, go ahead and put it on the subreddit, Glowing Rectangle subreddit.
Yep.
Right now, the top story on this today is, or should I go for the week? Top story of the day is
it's TK and 1.
TK and Juan, yes, they have a weekly live stream on Thursdays,
Yep.
and it's actually going to be pretty much about the Apple event. That's the second one, and then someone else is talking about the Android 13 beta, and then there's Mike. Mike is number 4 on today. His car vlogs, daily car vlog. He's really been doing them daily, huh?
Yes. He's been doing them 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Oh, I always feel like that.
There it is.
And then we have a guy comparing the Moto Razr 2022 to the Samsung Flip 4. Okay.
I've been meaning to watch Flossie's of the Razr, but I haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, it's hard to find 40 minutes a day. Ooh.
Yeah, but I love Flossie stuff.
Top story of the week, though, if you filter to the week, and this is one I need to watch right after this show.
Now where do I click on for the week?
Oh,
I see. Just switch to this week. Okay, got you.
Yep.
Okay, got you. Top story is
boom, the torture test.
No, top story I have here is some Xperia 5.4. No?
Yeah, the phone camera video torture test.
Oh, torture test. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Go ahead. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So what we have here is a man, Juan Bagnell, some gadget guy, the
Who's the one who started this blog in the first place.
Subreddit, George.
Subreddit. I'm sorry.
But yes, the AC in his place went out while it was 105 degrees in California. And instead of when life gives you lemons, you make content when you're a YouTuber.
Yep.
So he took advantage of that heat, and he tested all these phones to see how long they could record video in the heat, hot summer sun, before they start failing.
Okay.
So I need to see that. I'm going to go ahead and watch that and see, how these phones perform. Because looking at this thumbnail, it looks like it's a battle between the Pixel 6 Pro. What's that one? OnePlus.
Is this OnePlus? Yeah, OnePlus 10T. I'm guessing.
No, that's a Xiaomi. That's the Xiaomi 12s Ultra, the one with the 1-inch, the Type 1 sensor.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Then under that is the OnePlus 10T, I think.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And then under that one is the ZTE 40, the Axon 40.
And here's the Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 Pro, one or the other.
Yeah, Pixel 6 Pro. So yeah, I want to watch that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to watch that one myself. And then going down, let's see. That's Xiaomi 12s Ultra. Barry Johnson. So anyway, this is where you want to put stuff. You want to get exposure. You want to see what's going on with the real tech enthusiasts. This is the place to go. You can upvote and down. Well, I don't know anybody that downvotes, but you can downvote by the week, by the day, whatever you want. So that's our show for today. I'm so glad you and Mike both came in here.
Of course, I had free time today, so I thought, what better way to spend it?
Something you rarely have, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I was thinking about your wedding the other day. Is it February?
April.
Oh, it's April. Okay. All right.
April 1st.
I'm going to have to make April Fool's Day? No.
Yep.
Brave man. I guess I'm going to have to make an effort. I have to make an effort to get to Texas.
That's Bob. Oh, hold on. What does see? I'm still looking up Gary.
My mind is going off. I said Texas, and the singer said, "If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have."
Everybody talks all this stuff about me, Bobby Brown.
Yeah, I've never.
My prerogative.
Well, don't play it. You're going to get me banned.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, folks. at least you got to see, well, you got to see Mike, you got to hear Ted tonight. So we're way ahead of the game. So maybe next time Ted will actually let us see him.
Get busy, everybody talking all this stuff about me now. Why don't they just let me live? Oh. I don't need permission. Make my own decisions. Oh, that's my prerogative. They say I'm crazy. You can just sign us out, George, while I just read off these lyrics.
Somehow I think Bobby Brown did it better.
You don't even know the
Rapping
joke.
around.
I don't know if you heard the song, George. How can you say that?
I said somehow, I'm guessing. All right. Meanwhile, folks, we're going to go out with Ted doing it. So get it done, Ted. Get down on it.
But thanks for stopping by, guys.
All right. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Let's see it. They say I'm crazy.